When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Vote to 16!
When do we want it?
Now!
Voting. Adults take this basic right for granted, but many young people think they should have it too.
16-year-olds can pay income tax, they can get married, they can join the armed forces, so why shouldn't we be able to vote as well?
Over 1.5 million 16 to 17-year-olds are currently excluded from voting.
I think it's a travesty that we can't vote and we don't really have a say. If you want young people to be active throughout their community, it's important to give them that chance to have a say, and young people will take that power seriously.
At the cooperative, we believe young people should have a voice.
You can become a member of the cooperative at 16, and that gives you full democratic rights to have a say in the running of a £14 billion business. So we ask, why should it be any different when it comes to having a say in who's running the country?
As part of the Votes at 16 coalition, and together with our members, the cooperative is calling for the voting age to be lowered to 16.
It's an immensely important issue for young people, so the earlier we can make it habitual to vote and to make their participation as early as possible, the earlier they will have democratic engagement.
Other countries, including Germany, Brazil and Switzerland, have already lowered the voting age to 16.
I think it is important to lower the voting age to 16. I think the arguments against simply don't add up, and they're the same arguments that were used against women voting. It's just patronising to everyone involved.
The cooperative believes that in order for young people to play an active role in society, the first step is for society to trust, respect and empower them.
The cooperative has a very proud heritage of supporting the suffrage movement, and lowering the voting age to 16 is the new frontier in that movement, and we believe very strongly that lowering the voting age to 16 would significantly boost democratic and parliamentary renewal in the UK.
As part of its campaign, the cooperative is also strengthening citizenship education in schools to engage young people with democracy and empower them to change their world. Tyrone Steele is 17 and studying for his A-levels. He's a UK Youth Parliament member, former young mayor of Oxford and canvasser for his local MP. His latest campaign is against homophobic bullying in schools.
In 98% of cases, teachers have overheard or witnessed some kind of homophobic bullying on a termly basis. So that's nearly all schools that have experienced some kind of homophobic prejudice within them. And I just find it quite shocking, really.
He's taking his issue to those in power and calling for votes at 16.
Votes at 16, how do you feel about that?
I'm unsure about votes at 16, if I'm completely honest. I'm undecided about it and open to lobbying, let's put it that way. I think you're in favour, Tyrone. You should lobby me on it.
We'll see, you might just receive a few letters.
No problem.
James Bannon is passionate about combating negative stereotypes of teenagers. He's taking his fight right to the top.
Do you think there is a problem about negative stereotypes of teenagers?
I think there is a real issue. I think all too often young people are just seen as the perpetrators. I think there is a need to change that sort of stereotype, as you say. I'm a great believer in just spreading the word, if you like. And so things like taking what you're doing and just letting other people know.
Rowan Ings is a passionate environmental campaigner.
Parliament is just over there, and this is where the vigil's kind of coming together. And lots of banners and candles, and it's quite chilled out, and lots of press, so that's a good thing.
She volunteers at a local homeless charity, has set up a gardening project at her school and is keen to improve recycling facilities for schools nationally.
There's a lot.
She's taking her campaign to the first ever elected Green MP, Caroline Lucas.
You know, the more young people like yourselves are really sort of making this case strongly, then I think that's very powerful and I think people will listen.
In your manifesto it mentioned lowering the voting age.
Well, I think votes at 16 is a really important step forward because it recognises that young people have so much to contribute to society and they do actually know what they want and what they don't want. You know, I think it's very condescending to suggest that they don't.
Although they don't yet have the right to vote, these young people are finding ways to get their voices heard, and people are taking notice.
Well, I think it's a fantastic campaign. I know you've changed my mind a bit. I will now go away and think about how I write stories about antisocial behaviour and the rest of it.
As well as calling for votes at 16, the cooperative is also investing in an Inspiring Young People programme, the aim of which is to bring about a cultural shift in the way young people are viewed and treated in this country.
By developing campaigns on issues they feel strongly about, many young people are politically engaged and deeply involved in their communities. They represent a generation who are more than ready for a political voice.
There are a lot of really inspiring young people out there, and they need to be involved in shaping the decisions that are made today that will affect their future, and we need to involve them in coming up with solutions to the social, environmental and economic challenges that we face today.
You could even marry or sleep with your MP. I mean, if you can do all of these things and not actually vote for your MP or vote for the issues that do affect you directly, I think that's really a great injustice, and I think it's definitely something that needs to be sorted out.
The cooperative is inspiring young people to change their world. That's why we're calling for the voting age to be lowered to 16.
Vote, 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 vote.